Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Market chart pattern today is 22nd of March 2025. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. We will be taking a look at the key US technology stocks for this video. As always, it is for educational purposes only and it is not a financial advice. So we'll start by taking a look at the stock of Tesla. So the Tesla stock has been down massively since the beginning of 2025. And one of the reasons is that we had a really big pattern that we were watching for a very long time. Around $500 per share level. This is the ABCD. The market got to about 488 and 54 cents, and then we have seen a pretty much a 50% retracement in the stock. And where the stock is right now on the daily chart is really interesting because we had really key levels that were coming in around 245, 260, 245 and $246 per share level. But I was a little bit surprised on Monday, the 10th of March, when the market actually went below this. You can see this wide ranging bar, but there was just no follow through after that, and we have seen some sort of consolidation. That is an encouraging sign for the bulls. The momentum remains very negative because the price is below the 20-day moving average, which is below the 89-day moving average, and also below the 200-day moving average. However, what the market did was it actually closed this gap right here. You can see that this gap right here. So the market actually fully closed this gap. So that gap has now been filled. And now over the course of next few trading days, if the market is able to reclaim this, and especially if it's able to get above the 20-day moving average, then that is going to be pretty good news for the bulls. Now overall, the market remains the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. As S&P 500 has had a 10% correction. The markets remain under quite a lot of stress, but we cannot argue the fact that this market was up 5.27% last Friday, and if it begins to get above these technical levels, then we should be paying close attention to the stock. Now the next one, let's take a look at the Meta. Here we go. What the Meta did was it also completed this ABCD, and it's gone a little bit lower than where the D point was, but it has done a 50% retracement right around the 200-day moving average, and thus far it's just consolidating. And you can see that it tried a pretty good attempt to rally on last Thursday, 20th of March, but the sellers came in the afternoon, and they dragged the price down. Next Friday, the price action was also encouraging. The market was up 1.75%. So it is really at this key level of around $580 per share level, because that is the 50% retracement of these lows going back to 25th of July. And then if we just take a look at the going back, if we just take a look at the retracements in percentage, this one was about a 18%, excuse me, about 22% move from here to here. The market rallied after that. This one was about a 19% move, and the market continued to rally. And this one has been about 22% move as well. So looks like in terms of percentage, this market has likes to have 19 to 22% moves, and after that, we have seen good rallies come into the market. So at least we will be looking for the market to perhaps get up to the 20-day moving average is around $627, $630 per share level. Right above that, we also have the 38.2% retracement. If it's able to get above 640, that's going to be pretty good for the bulls, and we could in fact then begin to look at the 1.2 expansion of this entire swing low as well. And on the weekly chart, here we go. For the long-time subscribers, they will know we had a $690 per share level as the target for Meta. This was this big ABCD. The market actually exceeded the target. It went to about $740 per share level. It was not able to sustain that, and then we have seen a nice correction right towards this channel bottom right here. And this is what the market has done thus far. Really key level of $580 per share level for the Meta stock. Here we go. This is where we had this big massive ABCD completing. Let me actually try to squeeze it like this. There you can see that the CD leg was 1.618 times the AB, and you can see that on the monthly closing basis the market was not able to close above this level, and in fact it closed lower. And then we have seen the following month, which is the month of March. The month is not complete yet, but just in month of March alone the market is down a little over 10%. So this is the power of these patterns. ABCD, really really powerful for forward forecasting tool we have. And now let's take a look at Roblox, because I was watching this last Friday, and you can see that the Roblox actually has done what we were looking for it to do. It has done an ABCD right here, and then it's having a nice rally. It's right towards this 38.2% retracement around $61, $62 per share level. If it's able to get above that, and it closed above the 20-day moving average, the momentum is improving. I think it can make a move towards $67 per share level. Now, one thing what I'm watching is either we have the ABCD and the correction is over, or it might be doing a complex correction, and in fact it could be an ABCD corrective move higher, and then we could have another leg lower which could end somewhere around here, maybe go a little bit lower right here, so sort of a double bottom format, or maybe even a 1.27 to 1.618 expansion of this entire corrective move, which could take it a little bit lower, and perhaps an ABCD of this entire. So those possibilities are there, but a pretty strong move, of 5.59% last Friday, and the momentum is clearly getting much better for the stock. Now let's wait for it to close above the $62 per share level. If we see this on the weekly chart, long time subscribers will know we had a target between $63 to $67 per share level. The market clearly reached that after a very long consolidation, and people who are familiar with the Wyckoff work, it's like that spring accumulation. So a nice move up, then move down, up, down. It's like a spring which is coiling. It's essentially a lot of accumulation that took place around here. Now we are seeing a nice breakout, and I'm of the opinion that we have actually started a motive wave in this. What it means is that it is an impulsive wave, so we could be actually, this is gonna be, for example, the leg A and B, and I don't know exactly where the bottom is, but let's say if this was the bottom, and then just the ABCD move will take us to about roughly $100 per share level. And let's see what it is in terms of the retracement, and that will be very close to the 61.8% retracement. So that is gonna be the level that we should watch very carefully. I think we will begin to get the um, from the price action, we'll begin to get further confirmation pretty soon, next week, maybe even next week, for the stock what is likely to do. And then we could have something um, of this nature, perhaps something like this, and right here and right there. This is kind of structure it could follow. So we'll be watching this space really really carefully. Let's take a look at the Apple stock. Here we go. So Apple, this is the the weekly chart, and Apple has had a nearly 20% correction. This is where the top came in 23rd of December 2024. And if you guys remember, we had this $200 per share level marked as a very very important support level. The market held really nice rally, very close to the 1.618 expansion. Didn't reach it quite exactly to this level, but came roughly around $2 in the range, which is in my opinion pretty close. And then we have seen an ABCD move to the downside. So it looks like it might have also. There's a pretty good chance that as long as the support is held, and in my opinion, it's a pretty strong support right at this 78.6% retracement, 38.2% retracement. The Apple might have made a pretty good bottom, which the chances, in my opinion, are it could actually is holding nicely. So this pattern formation, and in that case, we could be looking at once it is able to get above. Let me draw the 38.2% retracement right here around 223. If it's able to get above this, I think the odds increase that it is actually um, you know starting to move higher, and then we could have another ABCD like this. Here we go, and this could take the stock to about maybe 273 $275 per share level. This is how it looks right now. Now, one of the things is that I will be covering the overall indices tomorrow, but so many of these stocks are making really nice patterns. So the market has been pretty bearish, but these stocks have been making these patterns. And as of the price action last Friday, you can see a clear ABCD right here, right in the support. So we have to watch the patterns as long as the support is held. I think it could rally quite a bit actually from here. So we have to follow the patterns. Once it closes below this, then I think the CD leg is extending beyond that, or maybe it's in a different structure, which will begin to take it lower. But right now, right here, Apple has held a pretty good support. Now let's take a look at Microsoft. So this is the daily chart of Microsoft. It had a 1.14% point move. And here you can see that on the weekly chart, it also completed this ABCD right here. So isn't that interesting? So many of these, and it could rally. It could pretty easily rally, maybe up to $433 per share level, right towards the 61.8% retracement. And then there is a chance this whole move might have been an A B leg to the downside. This might be point C, and then we could see another A B C D to the downside, which will take us around to $330 per share level. Let me try drawing it like this. Let me change the color. Let's make it blue, not even blue. Let me choose a very different color. So let's take it green. Okay, and let's go here. Sorry, here. So that would be pretty close to this to 330. And the reason I'm saying this 330 is really, really important if that were to happen, is because that is the entire 22 decline, the bear market decline, and the stock would have covered that, and there would be a pretty strong support level. The alternative view is that the bottom, that stock might have made a pretty important bottom on the 10th of March week, and once it is able to get above this resistance, then I think the possibility is still there for the Microsoft to hit 493 to $525 per share level. That's going to be very, very interesting. So that will be actually A B C D. So this leg we take A, B, point C, and that should be the D point right here. If we try to draw it, let me try drawing it like this. There we go. So that will also be a possibility. It's quite similar to what we are seeing in Apple actually. So this is what I'm seeing in the patterns. I think we have. Let me put a question mark there, because it remains to be seen how it will pan out. But we'll get our answers, from the price action pretty soon, in my opinion. Now let's take a look at Amazon. So the Amazon has actually done a 20% retracement as well, or a correction in other words. It's about 21%, and this is from a market symmetry concept. This is the biggest correction in the CD leg that we have seen, and it's done that. And of course this is the channel line right here at the bottom. So the chances are it is also at a pretty good support level. And if we just go and take a look at this on the daily chart, we can see that momentum is really bearish, to be honest. Price below the 20-day moving average, and also 200-day moving average. So if it begins to consolidate right here, the chances are the accumulation is coming in, and once it begins to reclaim this region, this is where we'll begin to get a better idea that there is a fair amount of buying coming into the market, and maybe it's also getting ready to pop up to the upside a little bit. Now let's take a look at the Shopify. Shopify is also, it closed 2.32% to the upside. This is yeah, this is the weekly chart we had been looking at. So you can see this pattern. Because of this pattern, it wasn't really able to get above this. I'm gonna clean up the chart quite a bit actually, because some of these levels, they are important, from historic perspective. Some subscribers like to see how the price actually had reacted when we got to the key levels that we were watching, but it's also making the chart look very busy as well. So I'm just gonna remove and clean up a little bit. It has retraced down right to the 38.2% retracement, and yeah, it's, I think, a good sign that is kind of reclaiming from here. But in my opinion, I think it needs more action, price action, to get better. Now let's take a look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA had a down week. On the week, it was down minus 3.26%. Now NVIDIA has also done its ABCD, this one in blue, but it needs to reclaim quite a lot of area, because it closed below this trend line. So it should begin to we should actually wait for more strength for it to come in, but it looks like more of a trading range affair to me in Nvidia. And if we just take a look on the daily chart, you can see the stock is really moving gaps like here. So this is sign of distribution, in my opinion. In fact, going back as far as June, fantastic trading vehicle if you are a shorter term trader, a swing trader perhaps. For investors, I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of gaps which are forming here, and you can see that still this downward trend line is still there. Now on the flip side, if we just take a look at AMD, so the AMD has been decimated. You can take a look at from this chart, it's down massive. We had these downside targets, which all of them have been met. In fact, it's kind of formed a double bottom right here as well, and now on the daily chart, it's just been moving in this channel formation right here, testing the upper boundary of the resistance. In this little channel, we have had these rallies which failed, and if we begin to get above this channel, and the chances are we could actually do that, that's going to be really positive for the bulls, because what it means is that it's just breaking out this symmetric pattern, bearish symmetry that exists, is breaking out of it. So the characteristic is changing, and then of course the price is now closing above on 3 consecutive closing basis above the 20-day moving average, which is also something really important, because if you look at this, this is where the resistance has been, and the stock has just not been able to close above this properly, and this is the first time in a long time that's doing that. So that's also positive as well. So we'll just keep on watching this, because it's of course meeting our ABCD patterns, but with the momentum being so negative, I think we have to wait for a better entry spot from a accumulation perspective. So we should wait a little bit longer to see further signs of accumulation coming into this market, and then I think it'll be a pretty good stock to take a look at. And if we just take a look at this on the weekly chart, so something really interesting, it is the first time in a long time that we are having two weekly closes which are positive, two consecutive weekly closes which are positive. We did not have this here, we did not have this here, we had this here, but this is an inside bar, so I'm not gonna count it. So early signs of change in characteristic is showing up. So let's keep on watching AMD really carefully, because it might be at a turning point right here right now. Now let's take a look at IBM, because IBM has done really well, but now it's also just consolidating right here to these levels that we were watching right here. I don't have a clear pattern in IBM on the weekly chart, other than the fact that it's kind of reached the region we were watching for. Right now it's just filling in this gap, and I see a pattern which looks like a 3 drives for a top pattern, but I don't see too much symmetry in there, so I'm not going to count on it. And then let's take a look at Z scalar. There we go. So the Z scalar on the daily oh, excuse me, that's soybean chart. Yeah, there we go. So the Z scalar, range bound affair, but if we just take a look at this on the weekly chart, this is where we see clear picture. Z-scalar is actually holding up quite nice right here, and I think we are in this CD leg higher. We should be able to at least get a test of the upper boundary right here around 260. Beyond that, we could be looking at 286 to maybe 320. It's a pretty volatile stock. It really needs to get above 220 level though. This is where the 61.8% retracement is, and this is kind of holding it back, but still look at these averages. It's kind of holding in there, as it's nothing really exciting for right now. But if it is able to get above 220, that's when I think the move to the upside could accelerate. Otherwise, it could remain range bound for quite a while, and maybe even retrace lower, touch this lower end of the trading range 155, and if it breaks below 155, we are looking at filling in this gap right here. Okay, now let's take a look at Netflix. Here we go. So the Netflix on the weekly seems to have actually bounced, which is quite nice. But look, it's bouncing off this 1.618 expansion, and once it hit that level, that's when it had a pretty nice correction. So let me see how much was the correction. So look, a lot of these stocks like Meta, Apple, Amazon, and now Netflix as well, Microsoft, they have done about 20% corrective moves, 20% correction, and now there is some life coming into them. So I think it's beginning to look positive. And if we see this on the daily chart, there is an argument for head and shoulders, but I don't see too much symmetry between the left shoulder and the right shoulder, so I would not really think that it is a head and shoulder pattern. But what we are looking at is let's see, a retracement. There we go. So yeah, it needs to get above the 61.8% retracement, get above the swing point. um, I think for some time we might actually see just a trading range affair in Netflix. This is the way it looks like. Now let's see if I missed any stock that we like to follow. NVIDIA, I have, yeah, AVGO. There we go. So this is AVGO, and this is Broadcom actually, and it has done this pattern formation. Very nice ABCD, a really nice trend line. The 200-day moving average, the price is above that. The momentum needs to improve a little bit, so the further it consolidates right here, the moving averages and the mean will begin to catch up with the price, or the price will catch up with the mean. And then we could see a nice move in this, as long as this low is held, or this 175 level, which is the 61.8% retracement. It's a very nice pattern which exists in Broadcom, and pretty bullish as well. And if we just take a, I mean, it's a bullish pattern. If we just take a look at the decline that took place in Broadcom, it has had about 30% decline since when was the high? 16th of December 2024. So in about 3-4 months time, the stock is down about 30%, but it's also forming this really nice pattern as well. So I mean, I have to go by the patterns. Clearly the market has had 10% correction, S&P 500, but some of these stocks are also forming these patterns, and as long as this pattern is held, the chances are, it could consolidate and move higher. This is what we are looking at it. Once it breaks this and the pattern fails, then I think we'll have a corrective move for an ABCD to the downside, which will take it much lower. But right now, as it is, it's a bullish pattern formation. Okay, now I'm just thinking if I have missed any other stock. Baba, I think I'll do a separate video because Baba came very, very close to our target, but we are seeing some sort of profit taking in there. And any other stock, I think I've covered pretty much everything. Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, NVIDIA, Zscaler, now Broadcom as well. So I think that's it. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you happen to like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you think you learned something from the video or you like our technical analysis, then please do subscribe to the channel. And if you do, then hit that bell icon button. That way you will know when the new videos are posted and you will not miss on anything. Just one request, I'll be putting in the donation link in the description. If you would like to donate anything to the channel, that is highly appreciated. It will just help me cover some of the costs for the subscriptions and spend more time doing research for you guys, which I will then bring to the channel. So thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.